It's a weekday afternoon. You're sitting in a meeting, maybe on a video call. Your name is right there on the screen. You have something to say. It's small, but it would help. And still, your shoulders feel tight. Your heart beats a little faster than it needs to. No one is arguing. No one is judging you. So why does your body act like something risky is about to happen? If you often feel tense in conversations, especially normal, everyday ones, you're not imagining it. This is a pattern many people carry. In this video, we'll slow down and look at why it happens, what's really going on underneath it, and 1 or 2 small ways to steady yourself when it shows up. Feeling tense in conversations can be a quiet form of self-protection. It's when your body prepares for social danger, even when the moment itself is ordinary. You might not even notice the preparation at first. You just feel tight, alert, careful, like you're walking on a surface that could shift. One common reason is growing up around frequent correction. It doesn't always look dramatic. It can be small things, someone often interrupting you to adjust your words, laughing at your tone, or finishing your sentences in a better way. Over time, your mind may learn that speaking freely leads to being edited. So it starts to scan for mistakes before you even open your mouth. Later, in a simple conversation at work or with friends, you might rehearse your sentence in your head 3 times before saying it, just to lower the risk. Sometimes, it comes from moments where a conversation didn't go well and stayed with you longer than you realized. Maybe you said something that landed wrong once. Maybe you felt misunderstood in a group setting. Even if no one remembers it now, your body might. It can quietly decide that conversations are places where things can shift fast. So it tightens early. You start monitoring your tone, your timing, your facial expression, trying to prevent a repeat of something that already passed. Over time, another layer shows up when you begin measuring yourself against how smooth other people seem. You watch someone speak easily, joke comfortably, move from one point to the next without pausing. Inside, your process feels slower and less polished. That comparison can create pressure. And pressure creates tension. So instead of just being in the conversation, part of your attention goes toward managing how you appear. The more you manage, the less natural you feel. It's easy to assume that tension in conversations means something is wrong with you. But often, it's your system trying to keep you safe. It's just using an old map in a present moment that doesn't require that level of caution. Imagine it's 11:40 at night. You're on the couch, lights low, scrolling through your phone. Earlier today, you had a normal conversation with a friend. Nothing intense. But now you open the chat again. You reread what you wrote. You notice one sentence and think, maybe that sounded short. Maybe that came off wrong. Your chest tightens just a little. Not panic. Just alertness. You replay the tone in your head. You imagine how it might have landed. If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is what tension in conversations can look like when it's quiet. It doesn't shout. It just keeps scanning for what could go wrong, even when nothing actually did. There's something else here that isn't talked about enough. Sometimes the tension isn't about the current conversation at all. It's about how much you value connection. When relationships matter to you, your mind may treat them like fragile glass. You handle your words carefully. You try to anticipate reactions. The tension isn't cruelty toward yourself. It's care, turned up too high. The problem is, when care turns into constant monitoring, conversations stop feeling like shared space. They start feeling like performance. And performance is exhausting. When this shows up, one gentle shift can be to move your attention from how am I coming across to what am I trying to say. Before you speak, you might pause for a second, not to perfect the sentence, but to identify the core of it. What's the simple point? Keep it short in your own mind. When you focus on meaning instead of impression, your body sometimes softens a little. Because now the goal isn't to avoid judgment. It's just to communicate something real. Another small thing that can help is to notice where the tension lives in your body. Maybe it's your jaw. Maybe your shoulders lift slightly. Maybe your hands feel cold. Instead of fighting that sensation, you can quietly name it: tight shoulders, fast heartbeat. Just facts. This works because it brings you back to the present moment instead of the imagined reaction. It doesn't erase the tension completely, but it can make it feel less mysterious. You don't have to turn yourself into a perfectly relaxed speaker. That's not the goal here. The goal is simply to understand what your body is doing, and why. Because often, this tension is not a flaw. It's a habit your mind learned when connection felt uncertain. It prepared you by tightening. It asked you to be careful. And for a while, that carefulness may have helped. But not every conversation now is a test. Not every pause means rejection. Not every imperfect sentence leads to damage. This is for people who look calm on the outside but feel alert inside. People who replay simple exchanges. People who leave a conversation and wonder if they said too much or not enough. If you feel tense in conversations, it may not mean you're socially incapable. It may just mean your mind is trying to protect something that matters to you. And sometimes, just naming that is enough to loosen the grip a little. If this felt familiar, you're welcome to stay here for more quiet explanations like this. One feeling at a time.